Welcome to a brand new episode of the Creators Outlet with our special guest tonight, the most epic one, Mike Watson from Freestyle Comics. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me. How you doing?
Oh, getting by. Enjoying a couple of burgers and a cup of coffee.
Ah, I'm about to figure out what I'm going to be running behind today.
So it's been a minute since we chatted, and I know you had a lot of campaigns coming and going, and one just wrapped up the other night, the art book.
Yes, actually 2 hours ago. No, an hour ago, we wrapped up the Art of Ryan Robinson, fully funded. Thank you to everybody that helped support make that happen. Ryan's first solo art book is going to be available very soon.
Very good. You had 52 people jump on that, so that's pretty good for a first outing.
Yeah, we did almost 1,000 over the goal. He's got a lot of commissions from this project. A lot of people are digging his artwork, but I can't wait to get this turned in and get these books printed and shipped.
Nice. And what else is going on? I saw the campaign for the customizable FSK card game.
Yes, we also successfully funded that one. That is in building status right now. The actual FSK cards are all done, but we had several creators jump on the narrative pack where they get to make their own deck, focused on their comic books. So we are actually in the process of meeting with each one of them and kind of breaking those down and making them. And there's some small tweaks that we want to do to the FSK deck, but we will be shipping on those very shortly as well too.
Awesome. That seems to be the big thing in like the last couple of years. Everybody branching out and bringing games in to enjoy the IP even further.
Yeah, it's been a great crowd pleaser for us at shows. I used to go around to conventions with Epic 21 a few years ago, and kids really enjoy it. It's a great icebreaker to have people over at the table, to get them over to talk and stuff and like that. And kind of open up to me while we're playing the game and selling books and stuff. And then once I kind of sold out of that current deck, I've always wanted to redesign it, bring some new life to it, get it a bit tighter, more concise. And through one of the internships that we did in the last couple of years, I met one of our interns, Lewis, who is now one of our graphic designers,
Nice.
Big time card gamer. His project for the internship was to work on this card game, to sharpen it up, redesign the packaging, redesign the cards, and he did a stellar job on it. I think it looks like a authentic card game, which it is. So very excited to get that out there in the world. Like I said, we're just making some tweaks on the main cards because the cards are all designed, but some play testing and things like that. We want to change up a few things before we actually send out those decks. And I'm not going to front. Our directions are good, but after playing through it more and more, we decided we need to punch up those directions a little bit so we can get some more feedback on a couple of different ways to play the game.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've got a couple of indie card games here myself. A couple of them that came out through Mondo.
Oh, okay.
That we reviewed for the site, and we play tested a couple of different games. I'm kind of like an old school guy too, so I like the RPG stuff. Grew up on D&D being released, and my mother saying, "I'm not buying you a $50 book," and it's the I saw that it's the 40th anniversary of the Bakshi Frank Frazetta Fire and Ice movie.
Oh, okay.
So they've released a game on Kickstarter for it. It's a dual game, so you can either play it as a tabletop RPG, or you can flip it and you can just play it as like a board game.
Oh, that's nice.
So I'm excited for that because I'm finally gonna have a little Tigra to play with. And I've seen like a few other games like that are like card based, but have like not a board game play mechanic, but like kind of like between board and RPG because it's got like you know cards for certain actions and tokens where and you can shift yourself around on the open space of the actual table.
Okay. Okay.
So I thought that was an interesting mechanic. So and I know Luke Stone's got his own RPG game out for his IP, and a few other people I've been talking to are in the midst of developing their games, and I'm like, this is exciting because now I can play nothing but nerd games.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm that stuff is fun. I'm actually pretty excited because Baldur's Gate 3 is about to come out. That's a big RPG game, and um, all the videos have pointed to nothing but greatness for this one as they put a lot of detail into it. So I'm ready to dive into that world and get lost in it for a little bit.
So what's going on the comic front?
On the comic front, we just announced our new comic project that we are doing with 5 other studios. It is called Hospice. It is a shared horror universe. We are networking with Russell Nolte, Frank Martin, David Byrne, Jamie Primack, and Travis Gibb. I apologize if I pronounced anybody's name wrong. I suck at names. But all very successful creators. And Hospice is, like I said, a shared horror universe. We've each taken a story inside of Hospice, our very own story that will all coincide and exist. And it's all based off of a hospice that is by the name of Rising Suns Hospice. In hospice, people go there to peacefully die. The thing with our hospices, it is owned by demons. Demons use this hospice to take those bodies over or do all types of mischievous, evil things. And we each were tasked with coming up with a story based on that. Our stories could slightly touch on that, or our stories could be completely involved, just as long as it had some aspect of the hospice within it. That was the only stipulation. Our book is called Concussion. It's about a mixed martial artist who is going to be in for the fight for more than just his life. It's going to be the fight for his soul as he goes up against his longtime rival, who is possessed by a demon that he does not
Excuse me. So who came up with the idea to originally do something like this?
know. This is all the brainchild of Travis Gibb. That man is
Yeah, it sounds like a Travis I Love Cthulhu Gibb anthology almost idea.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, he came knocking at the door asking if I wanted to be a part of it. And uh, you know, I love working with Travis, but then you also put all those names with it, and it's like that's an easy answer. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's I've enjoyed his Cthulhu stuff that he's done. You
Mm,
know, first with Oz, and he's working on another one or just wrapping up another
yeah.
one.
It was Oz first. It was Oz, then it was Wonderland, and now it's Neverland. And they just wrapped that up a couple days
Well, his fairy tale stuff is a lot better than Disney's current fairy tale stuff. So,
ago.
oh,
Imagination, man. And Travis knows how to put together a creative team for sure.
oh yeah. I remember the first one. It was like the first question out of everybody's mouth on every show I saw him on when he started going around with the Oz one. He was like, "What possessed you to want to put together all these people with all different stories and picking names out of a hat for what you get to write about?" Sounded like a fun idea at the time.
Sounded like a good idea at the time. Absolutely. I like the way Travis thinks.
So, on your own IPs, how many different titles are you guys up to right now?
Right now we're up to 13 titles. We have just over 30 plus comic books that we've printed and published. Um, After Hospice, we are going to be rolling into the Vigilance Trade Kickstarter for Volume 1,
Nice.
celebrating the first 4 issues of Vigilance, and we got some nice collector's editions for that trade. And then we're going to go immediately. We're going to close our year out with Hot Shot, the trade volume 3, but we're also going to have Hot Shot number 12, a brand new issue of the series out and available. And if I can get the strength together, I would also like to include issue 13 on that as well.
That's a bit of an undertaking. The trade and two floppy issues.
Well, I want to close it out. Issues 12 and 13 will be wrapping up our current story arc with Hotshot, which is Unforgiven. That's going to close us out, and then we're going to be going on to some new things. We actually have Travis Gibb, who wrote the 14th issue of Hotshot. So he came over as a guest writer. Very excited to do that story as well. So I want to get that out early next year. We also have 5-star number 3 that's done. We have Emerald Quest number 4 that's complete. So we'll be rolling into that and their trade early next year. We're going to try to keep the good times rolling. We were a little backed up this year, and I want to get back on track. And so far, we have been. And I don't want to leave the audience or public too long without having some type of FSK material every 2 to 3 months.
Oh, for sure. Because you put out like so much of Hot Shot already. It's been going for what, like 4 or 5 years now?
It's been going longer than that. It's been just about 18, 20 years.
Because that's when you started working on it.
That's when I started working on it. We've rebooted it twice. And then I actually took some time off the comics for like 3 years. And then jumped back into it with a new publisher, Legacy Publications, and then left there and went to Short Fuse Media Group. And after Short Fuse Media Group, just went back at it by myself as Freestyle Comics on its own.
Cool. Yeah, I actually just I get like messages from Tony's one of his favorite artists, Mr. Fish, all the time now. Another video up. I go, yeah. He gives very sage advice for indie creators on a daily basis now. So
he does. His indie advice is very good, very genuine and passionate.
Now, what are some of the other books? Because I remember last time we talked, it was a campaign for I think like the first 2 trades of Hot Shot, and you were working on I think issue 11 to come out at the same time.
Yes, we were able to do that. We had issue 11 come out with that one. Then we went into Emerald Quest. Vigilance number 4, Emerald Quest 2 and 3. 5-star number 2, Green Zone 1, 2, and 3, Source Book number 3, Scribble War number 1, Hot Shot and Friends number 1. So yeah, we've dropped a lot. So I just want to keep that pattern up. I want to keep the consistency of being able to come out with content. Very, very enthralled by what we have, sitting in here on our back tables for the content we have coming out, the story we have coming out. We're in it for the long haul. Issue 24 of Hot Shot is already written. We've got that already written, so I'm kind of using that as a focal point to make sure that I get to issue 24, because there's some amazing things that happen there. So I've got to get the story to that point, and that will be the start of our first big crossover that'll involve a majority of all our titles, which will come back around and wrap up in Hot Shot 25. 25th comic book anniversary of the Hot Shot series as a whole. So looking forward to it. I mean, we're Danny and I talk a lot. I talk a lot with Veronica and Lori as well about the things that we're trying to move forward with and do with Freestyle Comics and how we can improve. And I'm actually going to be looking at having another penciler help me do Hot Shot. So we'll be rotating on issues. I'll be finishing up issue 13, and the new penciler will be doing issue 14, and I'll be back for 15, and we're going to try to pattern it like that to quickly get us up to issue 24 of Hot Shot and keep it rolling.
Nice. Tell me about Green Zone. I've seen a lot of that, obviously on Mr. Fish's page, and it looks pretty badass.
Oh, it is. Green Zone is a fantastic book out of the creative mind of Mr. Fishley. It's think of it just like kind of our the X-Men type of thing, but very different. As in this world, we do have uh, mutants in this world who really don't have any powers. They just look very different from everybody else, and they are outcasts. They're outcasts so much that they are put into the blocks, which is the ghetto in this world or in this city or whatnot. And if they want to have regular lives, if they want to be able to exist with the regular public, they have to commit to 5 years of service on the police force, which would not be too terrible if the police force wasn't super racist against them. And no one barely survives the 5 year course, and we come in to meet a certain group of characters who are on the verge of completion, who are just coming in at varying degrees of completion of this 5 year journey. And we get to read through and see how they handle it and if they're going to survive through it. A lot of great characters, a lot of good, relatable, grounded material in this book. Most of all, honestly, my favorite part about it is the detail and the artwork and the crisp storytelling. Uh, we will be selling Fish's Green Zone 1, 2, 3 until we're out of copies. Fish has actually decided that he wants to break off and branch off into his own studio. So he can be his own man and break into a lot of things, which I absolutely respect and appreciate all the success that he can have and that's the talent. So looking forward to seeing what he comes up and creates. So he will also be selling it, but we'll be selling it until we're out of town.
Cool. And I remember one of our mutual friends had started doing covers last time we talked. You still have Ren working on covers for you?
Yes, we do. And actually, I don't know. I don't think we can announce it yet. But Brandon announced exactly what it is. But Brandon will be taking over on one of our comics. He will be one of our new artists on one of our titles that will be announced a little bit later on.
Oh,
But yeah,
cool.
still knocks out a cover or two for us, and it'd be great to see him do some actual pages uh, for FSK.
So he'll learn what a deadline is the hard way.
Oh no, we got pretty loose deadlines around here, as is. So I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, you just try to get stuff done, uh, so it's in for the end of the campaign. You know, so you don't have to sweat too much and be like, oh, we still got 12 more pages to go.
Right. Well, yeah, we want to do much better with that. So,
Yeah, I've noticed more and more creators now are trying to get their books like 80 to 90% in the can before they launch, so they have a smoother takeoff and fulfillment, and
well, we
quicker to launch the next one too. So
yeah, we've also looked at our Kickstarter campaigns, and we kind of decided to reduce some of the stuff that we put on it. We get into these Kickstarters and we have a lot of fun with the boards and tiers and things like that we can put on there. We really get creative with it. We always want to make it something special for our audiences. But the thing that we can do the most special is get them the stuff quickly as possible. So we've been trimming off some of the fat of our campaign so we can expedite the process of shipping.
yeah, the logistics and everything. Because I remember when you were on the last time with the aforementioned 2 volumes of the Hot Shot trade, it as I was scrolling through it with you, it felt like there were like 56 tiers because you had like it was more of a Amazon catalog than it was a Kickstarter campaign. It seemed, because you had your merch worked in there, you had like all the variants and special covers and
Oh yeah.
packs and all kinds of something for everyone.
Oh yeah, that was absolutely all me. And it just so happened that was our biggest campaign. That was our biggest campaign. Went over $11,000. Uh,
Oh,
so
congratulations.
uh, Thank you. So we were very, very excited about that. We wanted to make sure we wanted to treat it special. It'd been a long time since we dropped a new Hot Shot issue. We were bringing the trades back, so it was a special occasion. But we've learned our lesson.
You're like, it's a great campaign. I'm not doing that no more.
Yeah.
I'm going to scale it back. You can still get all the stuff in there and, make less tiers, but you could actually put more in, more variety in the add-ons so people can just, carte blanche, whatever they want out of the secondary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, people love from our experience. A lot of people have really enjoyed the variant covers. That's been a very popular tier for us, and we do kind of go crazy with that. We have a lot of artists that we're fans of, and we want to get these covers made by them. Um, but we decided that we want to pull back on those covers and really try to make that like a special thing again. So I mean, normally we have like 8 variant covers on there, so we're reducing it back down to like 4 or 5 on the number one issues, um, and really trying to take consideration with them. It's hard to pick, who to get on these spots, but we've got to set limitations on ourselves so we can make more things happen.
Make more books instead of make more covers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now I went and looked at FSKGo.com because I see it all over your page all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a direct link to any current like Kickstarter you have going on.
Yes. It's awesome talking to people and pitching to them and telling them about the Kickstarters. And then, then you have this long ass Kickstarter link, and it's like, I just need something really quick, really short that people can remember, so they can go to that Kickstarter. You want to make it as easy as possible for people to be able to support you, to buy your material and things like that. So FSK Go is specifically for all of our Kickstarters.
So it's like I see a lot of people use the tiny IRL for it, and this is even tinier and branded, so it's even better because some of the tiny IRLs are still not that tiny. They're still like 20 characters long, but it's still shorter than the 17 lines that when you go to copy and paste a Kickstarter.
Absolutely. I don't want there to be any issues with people finding the website, finding the Kickstarter. The goal is to generate as much activity as you can on that page. I think FSK Go is pretty simple.
And I know you guys have been doing convention after convention after convention. So how's that been going?
That has been going great. This month, August, is actually the first month that we haven't had any conventions. It's been real allowing us to catch our breath and really look at what we're doing. But the last 3 or 4 shows have been extremely successful for us, and they've kind of stair step up a bigger success than the previous one. The last 3 have been anime conventions, and I'm actually surprised at how good we've been doing at anime conventions. But we have Small Press Expo at the second week of next month. Very, very excited about that show. I've been trying to get in there for like 8 years. It's a very exclusive club. We got in there through the lottery, so very much so. Looking forward to that. Then we have Cartoon Crossroads. No, actually, we have Cincinnati Comic Expo. That was a great show for us last year. We did a lot of good numbers, and we sold out of stuff. We ran out of material, so I'm hoping this year that continues because we're going to come back with more books this year. So I hope we're not limited by that this year. And then we close out September with Cartoon Crossroads here in Columbus, Ohio. A hometown show. Very, very big show dedicated to indie books. Small Press Expo is very much so dedicated to indie books. And Cincinnati is a comic book convention. There's different types of shows, and I'm super excited about these shows because these are book focused conventions. So I'm hoping we can get out there and we make a presence, make our presence be known.
And you can also have Vigilance walking around telling Tony how she wears those colors better.
Hey, and she's right now she's scheduled for each one of those shows to appear with us. So definitely excited about that.
That's awesome. So what kind of things do you have go on at your tables during the shows?
Oh well, sometimes that really depends on the show, but for the most part, like I'll take DreamCon for an example. Got this idea actually from Ted Secor, who is a great creator, super creative guy. Love his content, love his books, and we were there with Ted. We were there with Brian Robinson, and so we decided to do a scavenger hunt amongst our three tables. We took two of what we thought our most popular things were, put them on the list, got them printed and handed them out to people. Handed them out to people in the lines, handed them out to people on the convention floor. And basically, if you found each one of these items at our table and asked about them, we check them off, and you get a free item. You would get something free for completing the scavenger hunt. It worked out really great for us because if you whether you finished at Ted's table, at Ryan's table, or FSK's table, you got something for free. But then you would shop around. We were keeping track of it. About we had about let's say we gave around 500 of them out. We had about
Uh,
150 of them return to us, and I'd say about half of those we actually converted into actual sales. On top of the free item, which was great interaction and created great engagement. Had people asking good questions. And people were genuinely interested in what was on the scavenger list. They wanted to know what these things were that we were talking about. It got them familiar with our product, and it worked out really well. So it's going to be definitely something that we're going to continue to do. Um, I also do what's called the pipeline, where before the show even opens, people that are waiting to go into the show, I would go out there and entertain them by freestyling, doing some trivia, doing some free stuff, and just trying to get them to remember who we are, FSK, and then I bribe them to come back to my table. I give them a ticket and say, "Hey, if you come back to my table to see what we have, you would get a free item just for checking us out." And we would, obviously we would talk to them and try to sell them things. But if they didn't get anything, it didn't matter. They would still get a free item. We just were really trying to get the engagement of people coming over.
yeah,
Because at the end of the day, at most of these shows, for the most part, new people at conventions don't know who we are unless we open up our mouths and tell them. So that's at a convention. That's my job. That's how I see it. It's my job to make people aware of freestyle comics, what it is, what we do. And if you decide to buy something, great. If not, I did my gig. You know who we are now.
yeah. It's a great way to engage with a lot of people like all at once, especially when they hear free. They're gonna spot you and they go, "There's that dude's table. Let's go check it out."
Yes, yeah, because then you get kind of known for doing these things, and then people just come back over and say, "Hey, what you got going on this weekend?" Normally we
Yeah,
have something popping off or whatnot. But I've done some, I've opened up the table some portfolio reviews for people, looking at their pages and their artwork and things like that. I've done some, live draws at the table. But I do a lot of paneling. I do a lot of panels at shows, talking about different topics and geek conversation and things like that. I've done some live area where I've drawn live on stage for people to show them how I make comic pages, how I make sketch cards. So I do a lot at shows. Like I said, it depends on what show we're going to and what I feel good at entertaining or whatnot. But just it's always going to be experience if I'm there.
you want to leave the people with a good memory of going to that show and you being memorable
Yeah.
and when you go to a show that you're not working at
Mhm.
just to check out what else might be going on, um, what do you look for in Artist Alley?
I'm looking for something that catches my eye. I'm a big fan of comic books and things like that, and comic art in general. So I'm just looking for somebody that's cool, that has a dope style, that has a strong anatomy, great face animations, um, clever with their paneling or clever with their pinup work. Very fun, engaging colors. Whatever catches my will draw my eye away. I've been looking at a lot. I've also been trying to find other artists in the anime field because we want to do some more stuff that looks like anime, kind of draw more different eyes and get more attention on our wares. But in Artist Alley, I'm just always looking for something that's super epic, that's exciting. Um, and I always find some good stuff, but I don't find many things that make me want to pull the trigger and buy it. But at DreamCon, I did. I walked past like I walked past 10 tables, and I was like, man, that's dope. But in my head, I was like, but it's just not there for me to want to purchase it. But I really respect what you're doing. And I came up on this one young lady and went to her table and saw her work. And I was like, give me that, give me that, give me that. I'm done. Yeah, that was it. It was like instant buy. Her work was, she knew how to draw, she knew how to color, um, but it was the ideas behind the image. She did a Full Metal Alchemist piece. I'm a huge Full Metal fan. But she did Ed and Al as samurai, and I thought that was so dope. And it was black and white.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
it was just a very very dope image. Then she did I pronounce this wrong all the time, but it's the Koski from Naruto. She
Oh, yeah.
did all of them on a street corner in street clothes, like a gang, and it was just dope. It was just dope. She had a great image of Hot Shot. I mean, God, I wish she had Hot Shot. But she had a dope image of Naruto and the members of the Hidden Leaf Village, all like standing battle damage. But they just got through doing a fight, and you knew they from the image that they won over a sunset. Very powerful images. When I saw that, I just like, all right, so what kind of? Oh, and I was looking at their signs. It was like if you buy two, you get one free. I was asking on which ones, and then I was just like, give me that one, and that one, and it was done. That's why I'm looking at somebody that makes me either want to immediately buy their work or immediately want their work in this game.
Yeah. I have that problem too. Um, Hi, I'm Will, and I'm a comic book addict. And I sold like 14 long boxes at the beginning of the summer,
Hmm.
and now I need more. And since you've got your own YouTube channel, why don't you tell everybody about some of the shows you do and stuff you have coming up on there?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So right now we have the Agents of Geekdom. That is a network channel that we have on YouTube and Twitch, and it is a channel composed of several shows. I have I am a part of three of those shows on that network. Um, so on Tuesday nights with Young Tony Clapper, we have What the Fig, which is a toy collector show that we do. We talk about collecting toys, we talk about the industry, what we like, what we don't like, some of our greatest collection stories. As of recently, we just did a whole interview segment at PowerCon, which was a toy convention, and posted that. We have a lot of fun with that show. That's on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Then Wednesdays, my show, Chat and Draw, which is on episode 260 right now. I interview different creatives. Depending on the creative, I draw their character from the comic book, or I draw a cosplayer as an anime character, a brand new character we just create live on the show, asking them questions about their career, what they're doing, and things like that. And then we get into a lot of geek conversations. I have my co-host on there, Mayu, who has joined me for I think a few months ago. She came onto the show and joined us to help me because I get distracted with the drawing sometimes when I get into it. But like I said, we're on episode 260 of that, and that is a show that came out of the pandemic, which kind of started my whole YouTube Twitch streaming journey was Chat and Draw. And then on Sunday, I do the Geeks Council, and that show is dedicated to all geek conversation. I do that with Adam, Dakota, and Midori. We're the host on the show, and Tessa is our director running the show in the background for us. But we talk about any and everything, geekdom on there. We have some pretty heated debates amongst each other and with the chat or whatnot. That's on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. But we also have the Moana Nui podcast show, which is an amazing show, dealing with a lot of stuff with culture looking at a lot of work that women are doing in the creative fields. Moana and Dana put on a damn show right there. For that, then we have the Foretales podcast on Saturdays, which is a great comic book creative show where they interview other comic book artists um, or comic book creatives, and I really love the layout and format that Denny J. Quick hire and have for that show. It's very fun on Saturday mornings. Tony does 5 Star Fridays on Friday nights with Fish, Fee, Ryan Robinson. They also talk about a bunch of key topics. They normally do themed things for themed conversations that are fun to watch them talk about. Uh, he, that covers it all. We also do Tuesday night clapbacks as well. We have a TV show based off of our indie characters. It's a wrestling show with storylines and everything leading to our own version of WrestleMania. That's on Tuesday nights. It's really fun. Tony and Danny host that show like sports announcers. There's a lot of laughs on that one. But, entertaining stuff, man. We try to branch out as much as we can, all in the effort expand and increase our audience.
And it's been expanding since you and I first talked way back a couple of years ago. So you added, you guys added Tony in a couple of years ago, and you did your faux WWE fake beef online.
That was super fun.
That was hilarious. I joined in on the chat smack talk, but what else am I gonna do?
And that was all Tony's idea. Tony, being a big wrestler, and then Danny Cooper fed it even more because he's a big wrestling fan as well. That whole concoction was all themed, was all by them. It was just very entertaining, and I loved it because nobody expected Tony to be at my house to show up with the belt and stuff. And that was a great way to announce him being part of the team.
It's like, look how big Tony's here for dinner. I busted his chops the other night. He posted up. He was barbecuing, and he had like 2 whole racks of chicken. I'm like, man, that's why there's no pigeons around your house. And then we got into it about Star Wars.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's about right. So, do you have an estimate for your next book launch for people to keep an eye on FSKGo.com?
Yeah, Hospice is going to launch September 19th. And like I said, we are also launching with 5 other studios. So they will be launching, all those launches will be happening in September. It's like twice every 2 weeks, I believe, or whatnot. But we will be setting up the launch the specific dates. But as far as FSK's portion of the book, that will be launching September 19th. It will run for 2 weeks. And then obviously we're going to get that all processed and done. And then and that's September. And then October, we're going to launch the Vigilance Kickstarter for Volume 1, Trade 1. And then November, we're going to do the Hot Shot Kickstarter to wrap out and close out everything. And we'll be done for the year after that. And then January, come back fresh with either Emerald Quest or 5-Star.
Very good. Just a little busy, Mike. Just a little busy.
Just a tad bit. Just a tad bit.
And I want to thank you for coming on and getting us caught up on everything in the FSK world. The big to-do with Travis helping to undertake another ginormous project with multiple people.
Hey,
I think after the Oz thing, he was just hooked, and that's all he wanted to do.
I agree. I think he absolutely was. He does not want to stop it now. He's loved the intermingling. He's loved all the creative chefs in the kitchen. It's a lot of vibes. So
yeah, it's like he's turned into the Jeff Johns of indie comics. I can't work on anything that's not at least a dozen issues.
Well, yeah, because this one's half a dozen. So yeah.
So yeah, it sounds awesome. The horror set with in the mix with all these other people. Sounds very cool. And there's so much stuff going on. Where do you like people to follow you?
Oh yeah, everybody can follow me on all social media as Most Epic Art on all social media. Of course, please visit our website at fsknow.com for all our current comic books and all of our merch and things like that. And then FSK Go is our Kickstarter website for our Kickstarters, and we'll have that new link switch over to the new campaign here very shortly.
Awesome. I'll make sure to put the FSK Now into the description when it goes up on the podcast platform tonight. We can also be followed over on Minds, Odyssey, and Rumble, and I'll make sure that both sites are in the description on all three of those channels.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming on and working out the time. I know you're super busy.
No, I appreciate your patience, man. I definitely dropped a few of those passes you sent me, and I apologize for that, but I definitely appreciate your patience and allowing me to get on the show and talk.
Oh yeah, no worries. I mean, it's only preseason football, so we're good. Thank you so much for coming on. Just let me know if you got anything going on during a live campaign. I'd love to have you guys, come on and chat up about it.
Yeah, actually, I'd like to get the creative team of Hospice on here and talk to you.
Oh, sure.
Awesome.
Just hit me up and we'll get it done.
Sounds good, man. Thank you again. I appreciate it.
Hey, no worries. Always good to talk to you, my friend. And we'll catch everybody tomorrow where I have another show. I almost feel like I'm working for FSK. I'm busy. Almost. I said almost.